What is going on, everybody? We are back with another review. This is CCW, and I'm Nick.
And I'm Joe.
And we are talking about Crown Jewel, which came on at 8 o'clock in the morning that I didn't start watching until 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
I started watching around 11, but I had a lot of troubles with my feed through my VPN, so...
I was actually perfectly fine until the last 10 minutes, 15 minutes of the show. As soon as it got to the last
10 minutes, the last 10 minutes of the show, I couldn't even watch through my VPN on my TV. I had to watch it on my phone.
So
as the only way I could get it to be smooth enough to play through.
When I told you about my issue and you said that you had to finish it on your phone, I pulled out my phone and went ahead and finished it on my phone as well, which reminds me, I need to take my phone off VPN. Hold on. But no, I actually thought overall... Oh, I did turn it off earlier. Nice. I do need to remember to set it back to Canada so that I can watch my adult entertainment. So... No. Crown Jewel, I actually thought overall, just jumping in here. First and foremost, leagues better than WrestlePalooza.
Agreed.
Leagues.
It's not even close.
Leagues better, night and day difference. Like it actually felt like they put some effort into this. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I loved that they did a special setup for the stage. It wasn't super.
Yeah, you like the crown shaped thing?
Well, it was a gym, just a big gym.
Yeah, gym, same difference.
But I thought even something that simple makes me happy, as long as it just doesn't look like everything else.
It's unique enough.
Because honestly, this isn't any more or any less unique than the silly little hooks for Backlash back when they did those. So yeah.
Yeah, just scaffolding in the shape of a hook.
Right.
That just swings on its own.
Well, if you remember the first time they did it, they didn't even swing. It was the second year that they made a move.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, no. I loved the entrance setup for once. It was unique. It already, like, seeing it kind of put me in the, okay, I'm excited for this show mood already because it's different. It's got a nice feel to it. The crowd was into it. I can do without the stupid overseas chants that they do. Just the one specific one. Just the one specific one that they do for everybody.
What?
The Cody Rhodes, or however the fuck.
I thought you was gonna say what?
No, I prefer the what chants. I hate this stupid, and they do it for everybody. Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes. If you have a one-syllable last name, two-syllable first name, they got you.
I do it to my dog. I say Beagle dog, Beagle dog.
I hate it though with a passion.
It is annoying. The crowds in general across both shows or across both companies, because they're mostly the same fans, just hijack shows now.
They do.
It makes me just like be more like New Japan fans. Just sit there and shut up for a while.
But then again, sometimes there's a good match and the fans aren't into it, and then that can actually drag the match down.
It takes you out of it. But
it just
you can't
depends.
tell them what to chant, even though WWE tries like hell to.
No, and here's the thing. I would rather the people have fun than not have fun, even at the cost of my own personal enjoyment. It just annoys the shit out of me.
I don't know. You gotta, some of these, even when you go to the events and stuff, there are chants and people doing said chants that ruin it for people.
Right.
I was at a AEW All Out. I'm trying to remember which one.
It doesn't matter.
I can't. Where the dude was chanting at the referee like the entire show, and it was killing me. And he's trying to get everybody around him to do the same thing, and it was just killing my vibe.
Huh, bitch, don't kill my vibe. But yeah, so we open it up with an Australian street fight: Bronson Reed versus Roman Reigns.
There was two things. There was only two things in this entire match that were Australian.
Reigns is terrible at throwing rugby balls. I just wanted to point that out.
Yep, that was one of the Australian things.
The other one was a cricket bat. Um,
Yep.
absolutely wretched at throwing rugby balls. Should probably stick to wrestling permanently.
The sad thing is, he played football. You'd think he'd know how to throw a ball a little better.
Yeah, no, he sucked. Absolutely sucked. Fucking absolutely missed. Um,
Paul
what
Heyman.
Paul Heyman like twice.
No, he threw one at Paul Heyman. He threw one at
Oh.
Bronson Reed.
Well, even the one at Bronson Reed, if I remember correctly, hit him in the foot or something stupid. Like,
He was probably actively not trying to throw it at them
no,
or
they can
to
take
hit
it.
them.
They can take it.
Well, I assume they can take it as well, given some of the other stuff. But
Listen, if I can hit a kid moving on a bike half a block away in the head, there's no reason why almost point blank he shouldn't be able to drill old dude in the stomach. I'm just
what was
saying.
that kid's name? Do you remember that kid's name?
I will leave
Was it
his name.
Eric?
I will leave his name off of the the thing. But yes, I do remember the kid's
Okay, we'll have to talk about that off stream.
name. But no. So I have also enjoyed the fact that Reed has now caught Reigns both midair in a spear and now a Superman punch.
Yeah.
And I'm still supposed to believe Lil Jey Uso's spear is supposed to be able to take Reed out, though, which is still makes me mad. And shout out to Breaker for once again coming out of fucking nowhere.
Yeah, but you could kind of tell it was going to happen by how Reigns was taking his sweet ass time.
So what I thought was going to happen was I thought Reed was just going to move and Reigns was just going to go through the barricade. That's what I fully expected to happen. That is until obviously Breaker just showed up out of nowhere and leapt over. Like, shout out to dude's athleticism. Dude like leapt over that wall, and then hit Reigns with a spear. And what this also proved to me is the Usos are great when they're working together.
Which is the only time I want to see them.
Their timing is almost flawless whenever they're doing double team super kicks and things like that.
Well, they've got 20 years of doing it. They better be.
True. But as you guys all know, Bronson Reed won.
Yeah.
It was a good finish to an otherwise. Here's the thing. My note specifically, I said, decent match for the two of them for a full match on a pay-per-view, but still underwhelming street fight.
Yeah, well, they didn't incorporate a ton of weapon spots and stuff. I particularly liked the finish.
I did
thought
like the finish.
Finish was good. I think the finish elevated it into a decent match from just like a normal, regular TV match.
Right.
The finish kind of pushed it up. The right person won.
Yes.
They continued to build the bronze, which needs to happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I liked it.
Now the post match took a little too long in my opinion. I didn't
Anything with
we got Roman being upset. Being upset. Well, so the crowd chants "You fucked up" at the Usos. Reigns.
Because Jay speared Roman through a table.
Right. Reigns is upset because he felt he needed to do this on his own. Instead, it only works one way. He was like, "This ain't the old times." And then he said, "I don't want to see you all on Christmas," which I was like, "Okay," because we believe that. He rolls out of the ring and walks away, and then Jimmy and Jay are in the ring, and Jay's upset with Jimmy, or himself, or both. And then Jay's like, no matter what, Reigns just always does him. And he says, "I'm out too." And he bounced, and then Jimmy was just left alone in the middle of the ring. And like, it's like, man, it feels like it's progressing something, but it's not a clear direction of what.
Yeah, poor Jimmy's just out in the cold.
Jimmy, I feel, is absolutely just being strung along in this storyline from every direction. and I feel
Yeah, more than likely, I think what's going to happen is it's going to build and build and build, and then I think Jay's going to betray Jimmy to write him off TV for when the baby gets around. But that's still probably several months away.
and you know what? And then he can come back and they can have another terrible match at WrestleMania.
No, 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 no. It does not have to be at Mania. It can be on a freaking Saturday night main event for all I care. Just do not put that on WrestleMania.
Do we move on to match 2, which is my personal match of the night? The women's Crown Jewel Championship match: Tiffany Stratton versus Stephanie Vaquer.
Really, this is your match of the night, not the
It is.
not the fourth match or the third match.
I will explain why when I get there. To that match specifically. While I did love that match, there's a reason it's not my match of the night. So, match 2, I actually thought Tiffany Stratton and Stephanie actually outperformed what I was expecting them to. I thought they killed it.
It was a good match.
I thought they were extremely in sync. So like the only mess up in my opinion of this entire match was the corkscrew splash Stephanie hit at the end was a little sloppy. Which they're not all going to be
spiral tap.
They're not all going to be perfect. Like the one she nailed a couple weeks ago was fucking insanely perfect.
Tiffany is a little awkward at times.
Yes.
In like her positioning and stuff.
Agreed.
And I noticed that a lot.
But something specific in this match I watched Tiffany Stratton do that I've seen her try to do so many other times and it never works out this smoothly. So she hit that cartwheel into picking up Vaquer and doing it into an Alabama slam.
Uh-huh.
And I thought it was very well done and beautiful. Like I've seen her try to do it before and others try to do it, and that the way it's always done always comes out to be very sloppy, and this is probably the most perfect I've seen that pulled off.
Yeah, it was good.
Tiffany hitting the swanton and catching the knee to the head. When they showed it, when they showed it in slow motion, it actually shows the top of her back hitting Steph's feet first, and then the other knee there to make it look like she does catch the knee in the back of the head. Thought it was really well pulled off.
Yeah, it looked a lot worse in full speed.
Right.
But the replay did make it look much safer.
When I first saw it, I went, "Oh shit!" Someone check on her, and then they showed it in slow motion. I was like, "All right, cool." It's like it was landed as perfect as you're gonna get that move.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing, right? To make it look like it really, really, really hurt, but do it in the most safest place possible.
Right. But yeah, as we all thought, Vaquer won.
Yeah, I don't have a complaint. Tiffany went for her move. She missed. It set up Vaquer to hit hers, and the person that needs to be pushed is being pushed.
And nobody almost died from not being caught in any moves. It was nice.
Yeah, somebody performed a swanton bomb and didn't knock themselves out.
We'll get to that in the next video. Post backstage segment is probably if I remember, it's the only backstage segment that actually happens the entire show. Heyman is proud of Reed for the win and says that if Seth needs help, the vision is not to help. We'll see where this ends up going on SmackDown. I'm assuming they're not going to show up on Raw. They might.
Yeah, I mean, Raw's their show.
It is, but Heyman was talking about celebrating when they go back home. And since they're in Perth again Monday, I don't know if they're actually going to celebrate the win.
They're going to celebrate and rub it in on Cody's own show.
I mean, that sounds like a Heyman thing to do.
Yeah, it sounds like a weird booking decision to set up another match between Cody, Randy, and the Vision.
It could have been misspoken as well if you really think about it. They might do the celebration on Monday.
Hell, it may wait a whole nother week.
It could.
Maybe yeah. We'll see what happens.
All right. So, here's what I want to say. I absolutely loved the John Cena and AJ Styles match. And if I'm going to be honest, overall, for me, it is the most fun match on the card. But I don't think it's the best wrestling match. and that's why
It
I
was
didn't pick it as my match of the night.
it was a lot.
Um, these guys went on like they wrestled like we would have backyard wrestling, where we were just spamming random people's finishers.
That is literally what I told Kristen.
I was like, this looks
I
like
was
one
like,
of me
this
and
is
Joe's
like a
matches.
backyard wrestling match.
First and foremost, shout out to AJ's tights that were very old school in design.
Yes, TNA AJ.
I loved it, and after Cena came out and they did the normal Cena, never seen 17 whatever promo run that they run when he first gets to the ring. So Cena hands a piece of paper to old girl, and she looks at him. She's like, "You really want me to read this?" And he's like, "Yeah." And now here's the thing. I don't know if this was cleared or not, because this definitely sounds like something that never would have been cleared by management.
And AJ seemed kind of surprised by some of it.
But it was absolutely amazing. So to give you just a quick idea of what was run down, it was it was basically AJ's own special announcement. And they called him
covering his career.
They called him the definition of total nonstop action, which that nowadays would fly, obviously with the partnership that they've got going with TNA. But then they even mentioned
that wasn't the other part. That wasn't the bad part. Well, that
wasn't
the weird part.
The crazy part was when he said the true leader of the Bullet Club. And I was like, wait.
He called him like the true boss and something of Bullet Club.
I was like, what?
Even AJ was like, oh.
It was just really cool. Really well done. And then one of the things that I loved, if you remember back when Cena did the spear, they were afraid to call out or reference who it actually was to.
Right.
They were not tonight. Now, did they ever mention specific names only if that name was in a move? Because
they mentioned Chris Jericho by name.
Well, they mentioned the Walls of Jericho. I don't think they said Chris. And that's why I said if the name was in the move, they absolutely said the name of the move.
They very, very lightly stepped around it.
Right. But that made me happy because I'm so tired, and I've always felt like this, and you know that I've felt like this. We've talked about it before. I hate that WWE tries to pretend that nowhere else exists. They've gotten more away from it as time goes on. They mention New Japan things from time to time and things like that.
Yep.
However, when they were dancing around the whole Edge thing, I was just like, guys, just say it was a spear to commemorate Edge. Like, you don't have to glorify, like, even saying Edge, you're talking about his character in WWE.
He's not even going by Edge.
Right.
Now, if you would have said, oh, that's a tribute to Adam Copeland.
Right.
Okay, yeah, sure.
There was a really cool couple of reversals back to back to back, setting up the 5-knuckle shuffle that was a lot of fun.
He kept reversing the backdrop.
And then we get into Insanity. So AJ kicks out of an AA, at which point Cena hits a skull-crushing finale, which obviously is in tribute to Miz. Styles hits a Scorpion Death Drop, which is in tribute to Sting.
Yep.
I said, oh, so we're doing this. John reversed the Styles Clash into an STFU, which was cool. AJ hits a crossface, which I don't know. Obviously, outside of Chris, I don't know who else has ever done the crossface. Or if that's just something AJ does. But... Cena ends up hitting an Accolade, which I thought was kind of cool. Because he had his little short feud with Rusev many moons ago. Styles hit a Coquina Clutch in tribute to Samoa Joe. Then Cena hits the Walls of Jericho, which is where they actually mentioned, they called it the Walls of Jericho, which was really cool. And dude, he legit...
It was a high angle Boston Crab.
Well, and he legit did it. Like, it wasn't... Because Jericho... Jericho even doesn't do that often anymore. It's usually just a regular Boston Crab. I
Yeah,
miss
and
the old
usually
high
that
arcing
one's called the lion. That one, the high angle one is the lion tamer. The walls of Jericho is just a normal Boston crab.
Right. Then AJ hits his calf crusher. Cena then goes to kick out of the Styles Clash. Crowd starts chanting "Fight Forever." Cena out of nowhere, this popped me the most, hit his sister Abigail.
Yep.
Which was excellent because at that point the crowd all turn on their cell phone lights.
Yeah, it was a big moment.
Cena points to the
It was
sky.
a great visual.
It was great. Great.
They panned out. The whole crowd's got their lights on.
AJ hits an angel wings in tribute to Christopher Daniels.
Yep.
I said, bro, what are we doing? At which point,
It got crazy.
So then AJ hit a dead eye. Now here's what I want you guys to understand. I don't know if, again, this is in tribute to someone or if this is just a move that he chose to do, because here's the thing. I don't think
it's a tribute.
know of any moves. So the only one I know for sure.
Didn't James Storm do it?
No. So I looked it up. And who I think it's in tribute to is actually Trent Beretta.
Okay.
Because Trent was known to have been doing the move around the time that what's his face started doing it as well, Adam Page. Except Trent and AJ, I know, have some history together. Whereas I don't think Page and Styles do. But I could be wrong. I Googled. I Googled as much as I could and to figure out as much as I could. But it also could have been James Storm. I don't know because the internet Google's a terrible place to Google anything anymore because their AI is 99% wrong about anything that I try to Google.
Right.
But I tried to figure it out and was not very successful overall. Cena did the draping DDT and then set up for an RKO and actually hit it. Actually, it looked pretty good too. He didn't do too bad with it. AJ ends up doing an AA, and then Cena does a Kane Taker choke slam because AJ goes to do the 5-knuckle shuffle, and then Cena grabs him by the throat from on the ground, stands up, does the choke slam. AJ tunes up the band and hits the second best Sweet Chin music I've ever seen a wrestler hit. By second best, obviously the best will always be Shawn Michaels doing the move. But he even did the high angle kick to it. It wasn't just a normal like super kick. I was like, well, that was fun. John kicks out of a phenomenal forearm. AJ kicked out of another AA. Cena hits a tombstone pile driver, and then hits another AA for the win. Yeah, guys, it was just finisher spam, back and forth.
At least it wasn't their own finisher. It wasn't a Paul Heyman match. It at least was a variety of finishing moves. No, this was like a backyard wrestling match or some weird indie match where they just rip off a bunch of other people's moves.
And like I said, for me, it's the most fun match of the night because of all the stupid shit.
Oh, you could tell they were having fun.
Oh yeah, it's just not the best match, and that's why when I told you the other match was my match of the night, it's because it was a better wrestling match.
Yeah, I don't know if I have a match of the night.
I'll tell you what my most disappointing match of the night is, and it's coming up soon.
The main event?
No.
Really?
I was not very thrilled with the tag match that happens next.
I liked the tag match.
I thought it was very watered down.
What did you want? Blood?
No, but I don't know. It just was not what I expected. But we'll get there. Because I have all of 2 sentences for notes.
I have many more notes than that.
Post-match, they hug, celebrate. They both, point to each other, hold each other's arms up, blah, blah, blah. A lot of mutual respect there. And again, just a really good face versus face match. But yeah, enjoyable. Match 4. Io Sky and Rhea Ripley versus Kairi Sane and Asuka. I will say, Io hit a very nice self-unaliving dive pretty early on in the match, where she just skimmed running into the turnbuckle as she was doing it.
Yep.
Was pretty well done. Ripley hit a boot to Kairi Sane to the outside. Oh, this is how the match ended.
Boy, you really didn't write a whole lot down, did you?
No, I did not. Ripley hits a boot on Kairi Sane to the outside. Or no, she goes to do it to Kairi or to Asuka. Kairi pushes Asuka out the way. Kairi catches it. Ripley then hits a Riptide, tags an Io. Io hits over the moonsault for the win. There's I know. So like at one point, Kairi hit another Alabama slam, but this time it was just in the middle of the ring instead of onto the apron. That's the only other thing I truly really remember, dude. I don't know. I couldn't get into it. I tried, and I just.
Is it because the heels had the heat on Io for too long?
It might have been.
There was not a lot of Rhea Ripley in this match,
which I'm fine with, by the way, guys. I don't need a whole lot of Rhea Ripley. We've had a lot.
We have had a lot. I liked it. I thought the psychology was good. I thought they really beat Io down. Asuka was healing it up.
I have an attention span limit on a lot of things. And one of those things in wrestling is things like if you're in a singles match doing a lot of rest holds.
Yeah, but this wasn't a lot of rest holds. It was just a lot of cutoffs.
A lot of rest holds will do it for me. In a situation like this, a lot of cutoffs will also do it for me. Unless it also depends on who's doing the cutoffs, because there's times where it doesn't bother me. If like sometimes when FTR is doing it, right? I don't find it that boring. Sometimes when they are, I do. It just depends on the match.
Yeah.
And this
I think it depends on the hot tag after it.
Yeah.
If the hot tag after it is really good, and you kind of live with it. But the hot tag here was...
And knowing insider knowledge on things, and I don't mean that as somebody who, like, I don't know anybody here, but, like, things you learn about wrestling over the years through interviews, backstage, things like that. There are certain things that you look for that now make me mad when they do happen, because I see them, and I'm like, ugh, I wish I wouldn't know that. One of them is in a tag match, if somebody's going for a hot tag and their hand is facing, their palm facing down, if they're waiting for the tag, they're not going to get the tag. But the moment their palm faces up is when they're going to get the tag. It's how the person in the ring knows to leap or to reach out for the tag to get the tag.
Yeah, you know what I hate?
And I watched it happen, and I was like, ugh, why did they ever release that information to the public?
You know, the things I hate is when the person in the corner trying to receive the tag is acting like they're urgently trying to get the tag, but you can clearly see they're short-arming their reach, so they can't actually get the tag.
The other thing that drives me crazy, too, and it happened on Collision tonight as well, and again, I'll probably bring it up during Collision, dude. This is another thing I hate about tag matches, and I've always hated this about tag matches. Do not wait for 2.5 to start pretending like you're going to get in the ring to break up the tag, to break up the pin. At 2, if you're not already in the ring, we know you're not going to get there in time.
Are you talking about Tekla?
No. It happened, so in this match specifically, it happened with Rhea on a couple of occasions. She would wait till 2 to 2.5 to put one leg in the ring like she was going to come in and break up a pin. And I'm like, we know you're not going to make it in time. Just stand out there and fucking wait.
Well, she's got to show concern, Nick. Otherwise, she's just a mannequin on a ring apron.
I believe the other match that it happened in on Collision, if I remember correctly, was it would have been that 6-woman tag match. And I think, if I remember correctly, it was who were all the women in that match? Okay.
Tekla, Julia, Sky.
I want to say, I think it was Tony that did it, where she was on the outside of the ring, and somebody went for a pin on Chris or Harley. I don't remember who it was that was actually in the ring wrestling. And Tony waited till like 2 to 2.5 to like start to pretend like she was coming in. And I was like, just stand out there. You're not going to make it. Like, I get that they're trying to do the whole, like, psychology, like, oh, I'm going to come in and try to... No, we know better. We know better, because you're not there in time already. Fucking quit it.
Eh,
Drives me crazy.
that's a nitpick.
It is. Go ahead. You can talk about how much you liked this match, because I have bitched about it.
I mean,
Enough.
what's there left to say? No, I just thought it was well wrestled. Aside from Io and Kyrie at the beginning had a terrible headbutt spot. That was just ugh. But no, I thought it was well wrestled. I thought Io looked strong. I thought.
Oh, are you talking about
want
the?
Rhea-
Are you talking about the terrible multiple headbutts that Io tried to get and like none of them landed?
Yeah, it looked terrible.
I was like, oh, what are we doing here, lady? You're better than this.
Yeah. But
On Asuka,
I enjoyed the immense heat they got on Io because Kyrie was selling like she didn't want to do things to Io, but then would do them anyways because she knew she'd piss Asuka off otherwise. Just like the facials that Kyrie was giving while doing some of this stuff, kind of did it for me. Like I said, very little Rhea involvement, which was fine, which was good. I don't necessarily need a ton of Rhea Ripley. She's like a foot taller than these guys, so it's really awkward.
And that's when they're all standing on top of each other's shoulders. Sorry.
No, that's not quite true, but
close.
Io hit a nice little Asahi moonsault to the floor. It was just a very well wrestled match. The right people won. Hopefully, we can now move past the Rhea and Io tag team to start getting some actual singles matches because I still think you got to have Io versus Asuka at some point.
We need singles matches, but I need singles matches without people getting involved, and that's just not going to happen.
Well, that's not the way WWE books.
It's not the way anybody books.
As you saw from the first match of this card.
Right. Match 5. Men's Crown Jewel Championship, Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins. All right, I'm going to come out and say this. The match was better than what I expected was going to be.
It was boring to me.
Not their best match overall. Couple moments that had me laugh. Seth at one point tried to roll out of the ring and the ref was in the way. And Seth visibly got shitty at the ref.
Yeah, he was pissed.
Reasonably so. Ref, get the fuck out the way.
Yeah, that was like my second note of the match.
That's because it happened at the very beginning.
My first note was that's quite some attire that Seth came out to the ring in.
Oh, dude. Listen, him and Cody are fighting for ugliest fucking outfits, dude.
Nobody can beat Seth. Seth's outfits are so freaking crazy ugly. And
no. That salmon suit was a very, very close first in all of this. All right.
That what?
That dark red salmon-y suit that he wore on a couple weeks ago.
Oh, you're talking about Cody?
Cody. It's very close to being number one out of all of the bullshit.
Yeah, that was an ugly suit.
Cody went for one of my favorite moments match-wise, move-wise. Cody goes for one of his rebound moves, and Seth runs after him and catches him and power bombs him out of it.
Yep.
Which I thought was
sit out power bomb. Caught him. Dope. He was going to do the Cody cutter.
And then he did Seth did a cartwheel into a Stardust pose to taunt, which was hilarious.
Yep.
My favorite moment of the match was me calling something out that the fucking announcers missed and then being proved right seconds after I typed it out.
Yeah.
Seth hits a figure 4 on Cody. And immediately one of the announcers says something along the lines of, he's doing Cody's own move against him. And I specifically said out loud, no, this is a tribute to Flair and Dusty. And immediately in the ring, Seth yells at Cody. And he says, I'm going to beat your ass just like Flair did your daddy.
Ah, good. I was about to say maybe Wade Barrett would have corrected because that sounds like a Michael Cole thing.
Oh, it was a Michael Cole thing, but no, Wade didn't correct him. Seth accidentally did because obviously Seth can't hear him from where they were in the ring. But Seth
Well,
proved me
good.
right.
Good callback.
And I was like, because again, I've also recently went back and watched a few of those matches between the two of them. Recently being within the last like 6 months. Really good series of matches, by the way.
With Flair and Dusty.
Yeah, got some really good matches. As a matter of fact,
Bloody ass matches.
Starcade won. I think the very first Starcade they had a steel cage match, if I remember correctly. It was either
I was gonna say bloody ass matches.
Starcade 1 or 2, one of the two. I can't remember exactly.
They both are some bleeders.
And then Rollins hit this really dope coast to coast diving headbutt.
And it looked like he hurt himself in the process.
It actually looked well. Okay, so I think he was selling whatever was going on there. It actually looked like it, but like I think he did headbutt Cody because the side of Cody's head was red, up in his hair, where it looked like he caught the floor or a head or something wrong, and he was bleeding a little bit. Obviously, not enough to like warrant anything crazy, but
sure, it's one of those things where you could tell it was by accident because usually when they blade, they want to bleed a lot because they want the spectacle of it.
Right. Over and above all, Rollins ends up winning. Listen, there were a couple other cool things.
Surviving a bunch of shit, a bunch of finisher spamming stuff at the end.
There were a couple really cool moments. Seth ended up kicking out of a pin off of an avalanche, Cody or Crossroads, which was a different way that I've seen them do the Crossroads off the top.
Yeah, because it was obvious cooperation because they were standing on two different sets of ropes.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, it was weird.
But
it was a neat visual though.
But he ended up doing was it a pedigree into a stomp, and then he jumped up onto the top rope and then did a super stomp for the win. I don't know if it was a pedigree or not, but I think it was. I do know he hit two stomps in a row.
No, what he did was Cody had him in the Crossroads again. He had the watch on his hand. He punched Cody with the watch, hit a stomp, then hit a second rope stomp.
In the face. That watch hunted Cody.
In the face. Yeah, it looked like he legit hit him.
It did. Yeah, it did.
So he's laying it in, brother.
But no, I liked the end of it. I think the right person won.
Yeah, I liked the finish. The finish is the only thing that really made the match for me. The match overall to me was kind of boring.
Yeah. I enjoyed more of the rest of the match than I think you did.
Well, there was too much walking around, and Seth does this thing where he just talks the whole fucking match.
Right.
And it gets to me after a while.
I'm going to throw a cat outside. I won't do that because I love him, but I want to.
Yeah, is that what that noise was?
Yeah, he's back there going, meow, meow, because he's yelling upstairs at the cat that's not allowed to come downstairs.
Oh.
He does this every single night. Every night. As a matter of fact, I'm sure you guys hear me say, shut up, Gil, at least once a recording.
Yeah, if it's not the cat, it's Bane, so.
But no, like I said, I thought the show overall was actually pretty decent.
It was fine. It was a good show. I watched it, and I didn't fast forward at all, so, I mean, I watched the whole show.
Like I said, the only match that I stopped paying a whole lot of attention to was the tag match. Like I started scoping Twitter and shit during the match because I was losing interest.
Yeah, and I'm also thinking maybe the last match didn't click as much for me because I had a lot of stream trouble during the last match too.
Right.
So maybe that also kind of put a hindrance in it because I was getting annoyed from not being able to watch more than like 2 minutes of it at a time before having to like completely shut everything down and reopen it.
Right. I don't know where they're going with a few of the stories. Obviously, so the women's, the Tiffany and Stephanie match. There's not really a big story that's going to come out of that. They were two faces. They had their match. Stephanie won, and now they're going to go do their own separate thing.
Sure, and that's going to be the same thing with Cody and Seth too. They're not.
Well,
going to have a follow up.
They're not going to have a follow up with themselves, but there is still story tied to that match. That story being everything going on with the Vision. And I'm interested in seeing exactly what's going to happen between, not necessarily Seth and the Bron Brons, but more so Seth and Paul. Because Seth seems to think he's actually running things. Paul is actually running things. And I'm wondering if even after this win, if there's not going to be some dissension between him and Paul.
We'll see. That's about the only exciting thing in that regard. As far as like next matches for Seth, you're obviously going to get whatever comes out of the LA Knight, CM Punk, Jey Uso BS. And then for Cody's either getting Drew McIntyre again or he's getting Jacob Fatu.
Probably Jake.
Which we can only hope we can only hope would be Jacob Fatu because we've seen the Drew McIntyre thing a lot already.
To my understanding, there is rumor already that there is going to be a tournament to see who's going to face Cody
at Survivor Series.
At Survivor Series. Now they're still going to have their one-on-one match next SmackDown. I think is when they Drew and Fatu.
Drew
and Fatu are going to have their match, but then they're also still going to have the tournament afterwards. So there's thoughts and rumors that next week's obviously not going to end cleanly.
Yeah, it'd be a schmoz, or maybe they both just get themselves disqualified because they brawl around too much.
Right. And then
we'll see.
They think it's going to be Jacob that comes out of that, but honestly, I personally still want Drew.
Yeah.
And I hope Drew would win the title.
Could be a better match. I don't think that's going to happen.
I think if Drew wins that tournament, he's going to win the title from Cody. Cody wanted Drew to beat him at the last pay-per-view. It was H that decided to not have it happen.
That's because Cody wants to go away for a while. He just had a new baby. He just did some acting. He's probably ready for a break.
Probably. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see how things go. But yeah, that's it. That's our crown jewel conversation. Do you have anything else to add before we dip out?
Getting a little tired of babyface Cody. I want Cody to kind of go away for a while and then come back as a heel.
A little bit tired is an understatement. I have been tired of babyface Cody for 3 months now. So
I've been tired of him since his AEW run.
He was a heel at the end.
I was ready for him to turn heel there.
He was a heel at the end of his run.
Was he though?
He was treated like it.
He thought he was a babyface.
That's why he left. No, there's probably a lot more that goes to that.
I think it is. It was part of it, but
all right, guys. That is going to do it. We will see you guys in the next video where we talk about Collision. Peace. Love y'all.
Later.